Everyone knows what horror games are. You've all played Five Nights at Freddy's when you were 9 and it absolutely terrified you, you just had to throw your mum's iPad away. And I'm sure you've all played Outlast, you know? The first game you played where you actually had to follow a narrative, so it scared you even more. But as you've all grown older, I'm sure these type of horror games don't really get you freaked out anymore. And I think I know the reason to it. You're all numb to the same thing over and over again. And no, I'm not saying every horror game is the same because they aren't, but they all have the same basic ideas. That there is something terrifying or something evil that you are trying to get away from. That is either closing doors in FNAF to not let the animatronics get to you, or entering another chase sequence in Outlast where the last thing you want to happen is to get caught by the 18-foot lady with a cross axe as a weapon. But has there ever been a game where you've been the evil or terrifying thing you want to get away from? Welcome to It Steals, a game where I absolutely went insane over a noise which meant nothing. Now, I've been pretty numb to horror games for a while now. I know that sounds cringe, but hey, what else do I say? It Steals is the first game which I've played in the last 5 years where I am genuinely terrified the whole entire time. I had to take a break just to readjust myself. I need a literal break or I'm gonna go insane, as I couldn't take it anymore. In It Steals, you are quite literally the monster. The real enemy is hiding from you. Now, I'm sure you've never played a game like this before unless you've played like Dead by Daylight, but let's be honest, that really isn't that scary. Anyways, the game's concept will be confusing to someone that hasn't played it before, but I assure you, it's terrifying. So there is 5 game modes in this game. While currently recording, I've only unlocked like 3, so let's talk about the first one. A very simple classic mode. Let's dive into it. When you start the game for the very first time, you get thrown into the game with no explanation of anything. So straight away, you are confused. You have no idea what to do, but you know that you're in danger. So the whole game of the classic mode is to collect 13 of these blue glowing orbs around a maze without getting caught by the thing. But you see, the interesting thing is, the monster is scared of you. If you look at him with your flashlight, he will run away. If you find him, he will run away. Holy shit. And the more orbs you collect, the more enraged he becomes. If you run, he will hear you, so don't run unless you absolutely have to. There are also these chase sequences which are genuinely terrifying. No! And the monster runs very, very fast. And the whole area you are in all looks the same. You do have a radar though, so you can look at where the next orb is, but good luck opening the radar in a safe space. Opening the radar is more scary than venturing down these holes sometimes. The game has no music unless you are getting chased. Okay! So this adds more of an ominous effect, like you are being watched every second. Once you eventually finish this game mode, you will teleport to another room where, now correct me if I'm wrong, you are forced to die to go into the next game mode. So in the end, you don't even survive anyways. This whole game gives a spin on the horror genre. It's such a unique game. Now the next game mode is called Shutter Mode. This mode is a ton scarier and much harder. So nearly every room you walk in is completely dark, so you can't even see when the monster is coming. You can only hear him. You are in a very similar area for this game mode. Actually, I think it's the exact same. But instead of being able to see with your flashlight whenever you want and just point it at the monster for it to go away, this time you have to hear for when he is near you and flash. The light will only be on for about a second, and if you flashed him correctly, you'll be able to move on. You also have batteries with this, which like isn't a surprise at all. If you run out of batteries, he will know, and he will do anything to get to you, and you will die. In this game mode, you have to collect 8 glowing orbs instead of 13, but it doesn't mean the game is easier. It's much more scarier and just as hard. I also forgot to mention that eventually in this game mode, he will start chasing you no matter what, and getting chased in this game is like the worst feeling ever. So you'll have to pick up the pace and find the other orbs to survive. Now the third game mode is where this game shines. Hide and seek. When you start the game, you are it. You have to find him. But in all honesty, you don't want to find him, or he will be it and you will only have 5 seconds to hide. Like, that's less seconds than what me and my friends had when we were 8. After 5 seconds, he will sprint around the whole place trying to find you. If you run, he will hear you and he will come straight towards you. And once he finds you, he will break down walls to get to you. So you must run as far as you can and make as much distance as you can, or you will die. After his chasing is done, the game restarts and you are it again. Now the catch in this game is that you want to collect all the orbs without finding him, because you are safe as long as you are the tagger. He will lay on the ground as a group of dead pixels that look like a dead body, but he will not play fair. He will teleport all around the map to places you are walking into just so you accidentally find him. And he looks exactly like the walls in this game, so like it's pretty easy to just mistake him as the wall. So my advice is, be careful. Do not try and find him. Do not play his game. And by the very high chance you do find him, you better hide. And you better hide good. Also remember to find all the orbs or the game won't end, you know? This is the scariest game mode by far. And this is a game mode that really sets the game from others. Like, what other games are you finding the monster in? Now I somehow accidentally got into this outdoor level with hide and seek. I didn't really know how this worked, but it's the exact same as before except I'm outside. So if any of you have ideas on how this worked, that'll be great to know. I died anyways and I didn't know how to get back, so that's that. Game mode 4 is called Living Halls. To me, and I know a lot of people won't agree on this, I think it's the hardest game mode yet. So in this game mode, you have to explore the same area, but this time the walls have blood on them and stuff. Pretty interesting. You start in a safe bunker. You can't die in here, I think. You have a stopwatch on your arm. The stopwatch also lights up green when you point it in a direction of an enemy. So pretty much you just need to walk around and collect all the blue orbs again. Except this time your stopwatch will count down, and you better be in a bunker by the stopwatch comes to 0 or... yeah. Honestly, I don't really think the whole wristwatch and radar and timer idea was all of a good idea because it takes away the horror aspect and just makes me focus on time management. But honestly, it makes you stressed, so it also does work. Sup, bitch? I'm not scared. What the fuck? I also somehow got into once again another outside level, but this time it was shutter mode and it was daytime, so no idea how that works. And I thought I would easily be able to beat this level, but it turns out over time it becomes darker and I died, so let's move on. Now the fifth and final game mode is called Phantom. Now this one is interesting because the monster is quite literally invisible, meaning you can't see him. You can only hear him, and you can see where he could possibly be as he moves any furniture that is in his way. But also another interesting thing is you are invisible too, meaning the Phantom can't see you, but he can also hear you just as you can hear him. I swear every time I walked in this mode, he just sprints towards my location instantly. If you knock something over, he will hear it. If you walk or run, he will also hear you. So when he gets close to you, you have this nifty little feature called holding your breath. He can't hear you when you're holding your breath, but you also can't hold it in forever. After a bit, it will force you to breathe, and if he is near you when this happens, more than likely he's gonna find you. Now this is the only time when he is visible, when he finds you, and he's gonna start chasing you, and just like every other game mode, he is fast as hell. You do have these things called devices though. You can chuck them on the ground, and after a bit of time, they will emit a small green force field around it, and if the monster runs into it, he'll stop chasing you. Fucking chuck it! Okay, okay. Come on, we're gonna go all the way down. All the way down. Right here! So those are pretty handy. Anyways, like normal, collect all the orbs without dying and you have survived. And that's the game. There's 3 secret levels I think, and I think I found 2 of them accidentally, but I don't exactly know how to get into the secret levels. I'm pretty sure the game has a little bit of a lore, so if you're into that, you should definitely dive into some of that. So my final review is, if you love horror games but you want to find a game that strays away from the classic horror game style, you should definitely try It Steals Out. I think it was made by one guy, so he definitely did a good job. Truly a terrifying game. So yeah, I hope you guys try it out. Anyways, thank you for watching and keep it real. Adios.